Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, the Biology Club. So let's start with the part 4 of the animal kingdom. So today we are going to learn about the phylum Coelentrata, which is also known as Nidalia. Now let's talk about the general feature of this phylum one by one. So the habitat, so they are mostly marine but few are freshwater inhabitants just like Hydra. So as we all know, Hydra are freshwater cnidarians or Coelentrata. So how the hydra will look like? So this is what hydra looks like. Okay, let's now see about the habit on the basis of whether the animal lives singly or associate of the others, means whether they want to live singly or they want to live with the family or with the complete group. We can differentiate them as solitary or colonial type of cnidarians or coelentratas. Now let's talk about the body symmetry. As we have already learned about this, body symmetry of the coelentrates are radially symmetrical. So we can say that they are radial symmetrical animals. As you can see here, so we can, if I can cut it from this side, so this side and this side will be equal. If we are cutting it from this side and this side will be equal. Now, if we are making 4 cuts, so all the 4 sides will be equal. So that's why we can say they are radially symmetrical. Now let's talk about some other general features. Level of organization. So we know this, they have first time in animal kingdom cells associate to form tissue in coelentrates, means they have tissue level of organization. They have tissue level of organization. Now let's talk about the germ layer. So we have learned about the layers diploblastic and diploblastic animals. So they are diploblastic in nature in their embryonic stage. Now let's talk about digestive tract. The body of the coelenterate bears a central gastrovascular cavity which opens outside through a single opening called mouth. Let me show you how. So this is the gastrovascular cavity you can see, and this is the one opening here. Okay, so it consists of this central gastrovascular cavity which basically opens outside, which is nothing but the mouth here. Now let's talk about the digestion here. Now the food captured with the help of cnidoblast present on the tentacles is directed to the gastrovascular cavity. So let me draw it like this. So suppose this is the outline structure of the cnidaria, right? And these are the tentacles. Tentacles. Fine. And as you can see here, this tentacles will have cnidoblasts. So let me draw some cnidoblasts in this one particular tentacle. Rest also we will draw like this. Okay. So these are the cnidoblasts. So let me put it. So these circle things are nothing but the cnidoblast. I will tell you about cnidoblast, what are cnidoblast, why they will have it in detail. Okay, now this will help for the capturing of the prey. Now, when they will capture the prey, suppose this thing is the prey. Let me draw the prey for you. Suppose this thing is prey for this particular structure, particular organism, sorry. Okay, now what they will do? They will direct this thing towards the gastrovascular cavity. Okay, so this thing will come inside this gastrovascular cavity. This is our gastrovascular cavity. Let me draw the gastrovascular cavity. Okay, so this is our gastrovascular cavity, and with the with from this mouth, this is opening, right? This is the mouth. From this mouth, this prey will come inside this cavity. Now the digestive juices here act upon the ingested food here. So now the digestive juice will try to digest this particular ingested food here. Okay, now also various enzyme will act upon it to make it break down and to make the digestion to happen. Right, now this type of digestion occurring in the cavity outside the cell is called extracellular digestion. Okay, so because this is happening outside the cell, so this type of digestion is known as extracellular digestion. Okay, so means digestion is extracellular here. Now, this results in breakdown of the food into small fragments. So, this food will break down into small fragments. Okay, this food will break down into small fragments. Now, it is engulfed by the body cells. This small fragment will be engulfed by the body cells. Now, different cell of this body will engulf it. Okay, engulf it. Engulfed by the body cells. Now here the digestion will happen in the food vacuole. Now this will be known as intracellular digestion. Now here what is happening inside the cell, the digestion is happening. That's why we call it intracellular digestion. Got it? Okay. Now what will happen next? So there is a huge, debate what type of digestion will this Coelentrata or the Nitarians will do. The very common, means very, easy answer will be both. First, they will do the extracellular digestion, then they will do the intracellular digestion. Please remember that. Okay, so let's move on to the next general feature of the coelenterate, that is the skeleton of this particular coelenterate. Now, some of the cnidarians or the coelentrates, for example, corals have a hard skeleton composed of calcium carbonate, and some don't have hard skeleton, so they don't have the calcium carbonate. Okay, now the body forms, they have two basic body forms. There are two basic body forms in cnidarians which differ in the structure and function from one another. One is polyp, as you can see here, and other one is medusa, like this. So let's talk about it in detail here. Now, if I'm talking about polyp, they are fixoid, means as we know this already, they need some substratum to attach with and they will fix in some particular place. Whereas medusa are the jellyfish we know, they will like to move, they will like to swim freely. Okay, they are sexual in nature, polyp are asexual in nature, medusa are sexual in nature. So as you can see, they have cylindrical outline, whereas medusa has umbrella shape outline. Fine. Now, as you can see, we can see tentacles on both of them, right? We can see tentacles on both of them, where but here the tentacles are upper end of the mandrillum, whereas tentacles here are the towards the lower end here. Okay. Mouth here is circular and terminal over upright, this side, and mouth is foreside, lies at the lower end of the hanging mandible. So here is this, let me rub it and show it to you. Okay, so as you can see here, this part is hanging out. Okay, so here they have the opening. Okay, now let's talk about the sense organ. So velum here, velum is the sense organ which is absent here, whereas it has the medusa has the circular velum, this thing, which is the, here somewhere here it is located. It has 8 sense organs called um, statocytes. Okay, it has 8 sense organs called statocytes. Now let's talk about from where we can see the term cnidaria. Now, as you know, the coelenterata are also known as cnidaria. They are derived from the stinging cells called cnidoblast or cnidocytes. Okay, present in the body wall and the tentacles. So they are present. This thing are present on the body wall or the tentacles. So the tentacles we have learned just now. This tentacles. So here I have shown you like this. So here these things are present. Okay, they contain stinging capsules. Okay, and we call it nematocytes. Okay, like this capsule is known as nematocyte. Fine. Okay. Now let's talk about the function of the nidoblast. In the freely swimming cnidarians like jellyfish and all, nidoblasts provide the anchorage while locomoting from one place to another. So they need that anchorage, the holding up things, right? These help the organism in capturing of the prey because they will emit some kind of light and their organism will attract towards this particular nidoblast and they will capture it. Now, nidoblasts are also used for the defense mechanism by nidarians. Okay, there are the some examples of COELENTRATA. Let's talk about it. First one is Mandrina. This is looking like the brain. Okay. Then we have Gorgona, which is also known as the sea fan. It, or in some book also you will find it is known as sea tree also. Now, let's talk about Penatula. These are the very common examples. That's why I have listed it down here. Then we have Physalia. So out of this four, at least you have to remember two things. Mandrina, Gorgonia, Pentula, and Physalia, four of them are there in your book NCERT.